Right, time to give you guys my overall thoughts heading into the Luton Town versus Aston Villa game in the Premier League. It's a very, very important game for Luton. Of course, it's an important game for Villa. They're trying to obviously get European football, but more importantly, Champions League football. But for Luton, we're obviously trying to stay up in the Premier League. And just like what Rob Edwards came out and said after the Man City game in the FA Cup where we lost 6-2, we've got 13, cup finals. And we do. We have 13 cup finals left in the Premier League to try and get as many points as possible. I'm not looking at point deductions from Everton and Nottingham Forest. I'm looking at the table without the point deductions. And if I'm being honest with you, we need to start winning. We've lost, I think, the last 4 matches now, so confidence is definitely on a low. Of course, we've played some very difficult teams with Manchester United, Man City and also Liverpool, but we didn't get that result against Sheffield United. And looking back on it now, how important was it to win that game? The loss feels even worse now, the fact that we did not get anything from that match. So looking forward, we need to start getting some points. We have some winnable games coming up. However, you don't want to go into those games on, lack of confidence and awful form. So you've got an opportunity now at home against a very good Aston Villa side to try and get something positive. And, a point or win would be something positive at home against Villa. In a way, a defeat it can't happen. Despite how good Villa have been this season, we need to make sure we don't lose. Last time we played against Aston Villa at their place, I thought we gave Villa too much respect, if I'm being brutally honest with you. We allowed them to play their game. Of course, since then, we've changed massively with how we like to play our football. We're more aggressive, more brave. But in that game, we weren't brave and we certainly weren't aggressive enough. And we allowed Villa to play their way of playing football. Now, we all know what Haaland did to us last time we played a match. And, someone like Watkins can do something very similar. He likes to get in behind. He can make those movements. He's a very good finisher. He's quick. He is strong as well. He will win a lot in the air. He may be not as powerful as Haaland, but he's definitely going to be a handful. And if we allow Watkins, the same amount of time and space and ability to, move on the half turn like we did with Haaland midweek, Watkins will also do the same thing and score lots of goals. So we need to make sure that doesn't happen. Now, I'm praying that Lokonga is back in the Luton squad, and the same with Elijah Adebayo, because without those two players in particular, we don't look the same team. For clubs, the bigger teams in the division, when they lose players, there isn't much of a difference. But when we lose a key player, a massive player, it does impact us a lot more, and it does give an opportunity for another player to step up. But in reality, the quality, it changes dramatically. But then again, players have got to step up and, try and take a place and earn a place within the team. I am worried about what Aston Villa can do because they are a very good team. Unai Emery is a fantastic manager, and there's no surprise that how well Villa are doing so far in the Premier League. I like how they play their football. But they have proven at times this season that they can have an off day. But it don't matter for me. It really doesn't matter. Luton, at the start of the season, we said we had to win our home matches in order to stay up in the Premier League. We needed to get majority of the points at home. We need to beat the big sides at home. We haven't really done that. Our away form and the way we perform away from home is better than what we do at home. Whether that's to do with the atmosphere, that we make things toxic at home, I'm not too sure, but we need to turn up as fans. I don't think we've been doing it recently. I really don't. The home matches which I've been to, there's not been enough, the support's there, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's enough, that grit. I feel like when we played against Sunderland last season in the playoffs and when we played against Watford, those types of games were a bit different. Everyone was on it. Whereas I don't think in the Premier League everyone's on it, especially when we concede first or we concede a goal. I can see people just like I don't know, a bit hesitant to like cheer on the team a little bit, and it's a bit strange really. We need everyone to support these lads. They ain't gonna stay up without our help. You know, we need to all get behind. I know we can't force everyone to sing, but you know, get behind the boys because they're definitely going to need it. That, you know, noise is very important, and we can make Luton very hostile. We all know that. But I just don't think we've been doing it enough recently. And I don't like the fact how we keep, you know, every time we introduce a side that we're playing against at home, you know, we're belittling ourselves. You know, I think when we played against Man City, the announcer was saying against the, you know, the champions of England, the champions of the world, like. We don't need to say that. You know, if I hear the announcer go on the weekend and we're playing the former European winners, I'm going to lose my head a little bit, because we don't need to really be saying that. That's what Graham Jones used to do when he was the manager. He used to use those types of excuses, and like after a game when we used to lose. I remember when we lost against Nottingham Forest and he went, "We've just lost against the former European champions." I'd be like, what the hell? That was 40 years ago. So we need to get out of this, focus on us. Don't give teams respect. You know, there's a way to do it, but we don't need to give teams respect. You know, be ruthless, be aggressive, be brave. Repeat those performances which we did against Newcastle, Brighton, and you know the games beforehand, and go at Villa from the first minute. If we don't, and we allow them to play their game, we will concede. We will lose the match, and it could be like exactly how it was midweek. And we don't want that to happen. I can't, you know, voice it enough that this game is so important, because we've got Palace and Forest after Villa. You know, though we're looking at those two games in particular, teams around us in the table. You've got to get points off teams around you in the table if you want to stay up. I know a lot of people go, we are trying our best, you know, we're doing what we can. But I actually believe we can stay up, because I've seen it. I've seen what we can do. I've seen how we can hurt teams, especially going forward with scoring goals. Scoring goals isn't the problem, it's conceding them. I've always said that throughout the whole season. Try and be a little bit more tighter at the back. Need a little bit more leadership. We need some players to, you know, step up their performances. Some performances haven't been good defensively. We need to, you know, start to return good form back, especially in those defensive areas. Hopefully Lokonga's back though, that would be absolutely massive. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. I feel like a draw would be a positive result, especially against a really good Villa side. There's no shame in that, especially with what Villa can do against certain teams in this division. Just got to hope they have an off day, because if they turn up and they're on it, I think we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. But let me know what you think down in the comment section of the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and yeah, I'll see you all in the match reaction after the game, I think. And fingers crossed Luton are going to, you know, put in a good performance and get a positive result.